Hey friends, welcome back to Simply a Better You. I just finished up doing my garden tour and we harvested some herbs while we were outside in the garden. So I am going to show you how I preserve these. And what I mean by that is I've gone outside and I've harvested all these things, but now what do I do with it? How do I dry these and preserve these long term so that I can use them throughout the winter? And beyond that, really. So I have harvested a huge basket here. This has been my best harvest of herbs this year. I have pineapple mint. I have a Kentucky mountain mint, rosemary, basil, lemon balm, sage, and some English and lemon thyme in here. Everything is smelling wonderful. I love the smell. I keep smelling it over and over again because it's so good. So I have all these things that I need to dry and put up. And there's a few different ways you can do this. Some people lay these out on drying racks, and that can be anything from the top of your counter to a screen to, some people put them in wooden trays. It is totally up to you, but they need to be spread out on a flat surface so that air can get to them and they can dry. And this can take a few weeks. That depends on where you are, how warm your house is, if you're doing this outside. That all plays into it. I will be hanging these up to dry in my home. So I know it takes about 2 to 3 weeks depending on the type of plant. So I choose to hang them up all over the house because that's really my only resource right now. I don't have any drying racks and I don't have the room to put out drying racks or to lay these out flat all over the house. So I use twine or rope or string, whatever you have around the house. You do not need to go out and buy stuff to do this. I know some people use leftover screens from their windows, and some people have made up their own drying trays. So you don't need to run out and buy something to do this. Also, before I forget, you can also use a dehydrator. I have a dehydrator in my dining room, but I would rather not use any type of heat to dry my herbs out. So I really don't want to do that. I am going to go ahead and tie these up, and you want to make sure first that you wash your plants. Now, I use organic growing methods here. I don't spray my plants with anything other than some BT if I've got some caterpillar issues, or some neem oil. But outside of that, I don't put anything else on my plants. But the reason why I give them a good rinse, even though it rained the last 2 days here, is because there are some little critters hiding in here. I do have bugs in my garden. They do their job and I greatly appreciate them. So we have little spiders in here, maybe some aphids, there might be a little caterpillar here and there, some creepy crawlies that hide in between the leaves. Also, on the back of a lot of my basil leaves, I am seeing some, these look like eggs to something, I don't know. These could be seeds from another plant. I have no way of knowing, so I want to go ahead and give these a really good rinse. Now, you need to prep your area when you rinse these. This is a lot of herbs. We're going to rinse them, and I'm going to lay out a big towel. You can use paper towels if you want, but I don't want to use my paper towels that way. So I'm going to lay out a towel on my counter by my sink. I'm going to cover this space here, and well, I've got vegetables behind me, so that counter's out. I'm going to try to use up my dining room table, and we're going to lay all of these out nice and flat, separated so that they can dry, and then you can use another like hand towel to pat the top of them and get as much moisture off of them as you can, and then let them sit and dry. The reason I say that is because it's going to add moisture to your plants, and you really are trying to remove as much moisture as you can because
you're doing a drying process. But we also want them to be clean before we store them. Basil is a very delicate plant. So you may notice that, oh look, caterpillar poo. You may notice that after you wash these and you lay them out, you're going to start to see little brown spots on it. It's a very delicate plant. It starts to change colors very quickly after you pick it and handle it and are doing things with it. It does not affect the drying process. Your basil will be fine and it will taste fine. You're going to dry this and then crumble the leaves. You're not going to see those dark spots. So don't worry about it. The first time I did it, I was like, oh my gosh, I've ruined it. Now what am I going to do? I've just wasted this whole plant. Yeah, this has got lots of little somethings on it. But don't worry about that. All this is going to be crumbled up, ground up, however you choose to do it, and stored in jars. So don't worry about that. All right, we're going to get set up and get these spread out. So you can see here, these have been washed and I've laid them out on a towel. I've kind of flipped over the leaves and gone through them, picked off anything that just doesn't look right. Give them, when I rinse them off in the sink, I give them a good shake just to kind of dislodge anything that might be trying to hang on. That's usually when you see the little spiders fall out. But and we're just going to allow these to sit here and air dry, and then I take a towel, and which I've already done. I've gone through and pat dried as much as I can off the leaves. Just kind of speeds up the process. Okay, so I've got my basil rinsed, and I am placing them out here on a towel. Just kind of let them dry. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and start bundling these, and I'm going to show you how I tie them. You can grab really any kind of string, twine that you want. I'm using my garden twine that I tie tomatoes and plants up with. You don't want your bundles to be too big to allow airflow. So, oh, I can't get over the lemon balm. It just smells so good. So I'm going to make a little bundle here. You can tie around the top. You can remove some leaves off the side and tie around the top. I have some bundles of leaves here, and I am going to slip this up underneath the bundle so that it kind of hangs off of it. That's my preferred way. Doesn't always work out though, so I can always tie it around the top as well. And then we are going to just make a nice little knot at the top. I don't do anything crazy tight. Nothing crazy tight, but it's tight at the top, and then it dangles from there. And then you can attach this wherever you want. I can give you some ideas. So I hang these all over my house. You really don't want to hang them any place where they're getting direct sunlight all day long. I have 2 windows that are in my living room that don't receive direct sunlight, so it won't heat up the plant or cause it to burn or anything. So I will hang most of these up in the windows in my living room, and then in my mud room I have wire racked shelves that I put canned goods and extra pots and pans and stuff on, and I hang these from the wire racks. That's where the majority of them will go because it's a lot more space for me to tie things up.
So I hope that you guys, if you haven't already, will start an herb garden. Grow the herbs that you love. Grow some mint. Mint is incredibly easy to grow. Basil is incredibly easy to grow. Put them in the ground, start in a raised garden bed. You can put them in a pot and grow them in your windowsill. But I encourage you, grow some herbs, make some teas, throw them in your food, in a salad. It is so enjoyable to work with fresh herbs from the garden. They smell amazing. They taste 10 times better than anything you can get from the grocery store. And you'll be hooked once you start growing herbs in your own garden. So, guys, thank you for hanging out with me on my journey today, and I bless you on yours.